Welcome to the 8 p.m. news on Canal English with me, Annette Feti-Somé. Our lead stories for tonight. As the president of the Cameroon Renaissance Party, Maurice Kamto, and others spend their first night at the Kondengui Central Prison today, the president of the Cameroon's People's Party, Edith Kabangwala, has reacted, calling the decision a serious mistake. The United States Embassy in Cameroon and the Cameroon National Medical Council have condemned the burning of the Kumba District Hospital, describing the act as barbaric and called for investigations. Today is being observed as World Radio Day on the theme Dialogue, Tolerance and Peace. In tonight's newscast, we will discover a British businessman who is raising funds for cancer research and promoting healthy lifestyle by running. He was in Cameroon. Developments will be yours right ahead. We begin with this information where about 100 of the 160 January 26 protesters have been sent to prison despite their non-guilty pleas. This follows the hearing of yesterday's night at the Yaoundé Military Court. The first 27 amongst them, Maurice Kamto, Paul Eric Kinge, Penda Ekoka, Valsero, and others, were all transferred early today to the Kondengui Central Prison in Yaoundé. 5 were set free. That includes 2 lawyers. The detainees have 6 months detention term renewable twice that can go up to 18 months according to Barrister Sylvain Sop. The hearing of 25 other detainees who marched in Yaoundé has been programmed for Friday, February 26. For now, the Yaoundé Military Court is heavily guarded. Well, the president of the Cameroon's People's Party, Edith Kabangwala, has condemned the transfer of the leader of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement to the Kondengui Central Prison. She made a declaration to the press today in Douala, where she called for Cameroonians and opposition parties to stand up as one man and fight for the rights. Details of this with Ndi Morin.
Her outing comes a day after the transfer of the leader of Cameroon Renaissance Movement, Professor Maurice Kamto and co., to the Kondengui Maximum Prison. Edith Kawala, president of Cameroon's People's Party, in a press conference on Wednesday, February 13 in Douala, condemns in strong terms their transfer to Kondengui, declaring it is a grave error committed by the regime in place.
When you arrest political leaders, when you arrest people who are acting non-violently, who are protesting as allowed to by the Constitution of Cameroon, you have arrested all of us. You have stepped on the liberties of all of us.
Edith Kawala, in a declaration, revisited 2014, a time when Boko Haram created havoc in the far north. She states she had alerted the regime of the tactics of repression against the population, violence, and arrest of innocent people. She equally laments over the escalating crisis in the northwest and southwest regions that has left thousands dirt, houses burned down, and villages erased. Edith Kawala says she again warns government of the extreme violation of human rights and the need to resolve the decades-old problem through consultation and dialogue. But she states the government responded with continuous acts of violence and repression.
It is not a question, Cameroonians should understand, it's not a question of agreeing or not agreeing with a particular individual or with a particular political party. What makes a country is a foundation of justice, of liberty for everybody, including the person with whom you are in disagreement. That person must be free to express their opinion. So we say no. The government continues every day. Yesterday, it was extreme north. After that, it was northwest and southwest. Now we are having people in Yaoundé and Douala being arrested. We cannot wait any longer. We cannot think that it will happen to my neighbor, but it will not happen to me.
This 2019, Eddie Kawala is telling Cameroonians and the opposition parties they will continue to lose the battle if they are divided.
It is all Cameroonians who are concerned. It is the future of our country who are concerned. And we know that every time this government has acted violently and repressed people, it has led to the radicalization of movements. Today in Northwest and Southwest, we have so many armed groups. Where did they come from? They came from the violent repression of this government, of a non-violent movement.
The female opposition political figure in Cameroon insists Cameroonians can only achieve this if they can raise their voices on the social media, refuse to enter politics of division that serves only one regime, and say no to violence.
The people in the town of Bafang have been celebrating following the release of their mayor after spending 1 month in prison. Traders, council workers and supporters of Pierre Kwemo have been on the streets since Tuesday. Once again, D. Maureen.
The excitement is visible. The population from all nooks and crannies of Bafang, Upper Cam Division, West Region of Cameroon are singing and celebrating the freedom of their mayor, Pierre Kwemo, who was released on Tuesday after spending 1 month in Kondenge prison in connection to land dispute, affair that dates back to about 10 years. Even markets are vibrating to the rhythm. Traders have abandoned their activities and have joined in the celebration. It is the same ambience at the Bafang Council where Pierre Kwemo is still mayor. Pierre Kwemo is said to have appeared in court yesterday, where he was granted provisional bail after depositing a 2 million franc CFA caution, though the matter, one of the lawyers, Jack Bunye, said, while adding the case continues. His detention, it should be noted, has sparked protests from supporters in Bafang who had called for his immediate release. Disclosing the matter was political and had vowed to disrupt municipal elections in Bafang if the mayor was not released.
The United States government embassy in Cameroon and the Cameroon Medical Council have both condemned the burning of the Kumba District Hospital. While the Cameroon Medical Council describes the act as barbaric, the U.S. embassy in Cameroon says investigations should be open. This report with Ambo Gladys Diban.
The February 11 fire incident at the Kumba District Hospital, which left at least 4 people dead, has been strongly condemned by the United States Embassy in Cameroon. The statement issued Tuesday, February 12 by the diplomatic service urges government and separatist fighters to allow unfettered access to humanitarian and healthcare workers, as well as stop attacks on hospitals or health centers. It equally appealed on both sides to enter into a broad-based dialogue without preconditions. The United States, however, demand an urgent and transparent investigation into the criminal act in Kumba. The United States statement comes a day after that of the Minister of Communication, which blames the incident on a group of 20 rebellious secessionists. Although controversy still looms over the real perpetrators of the fire incident, it is still unclear who committed the act. No group has so far claimed responsibility. The Cameroon National Order of Doctors has equally condemned the incident and described the attack as barbaric. The unrest in the 2 English-speaking regions of Cameroon escalated on November 2016. Since then, classes have been interrupted, villages have been burnt down, properties have been destroyed, and businesses have been ruined. Consequently, the economy of the country has been affected.
Over 150 new men and women have joined the Gendarmerie Corps in the Northwest region. They have been awarded their first ever epaulets today in Bamenda. Details of this report with Ndi Maureen.
At a time when the foundation of Cameroon as a nation is threatened by secessionist tendencies, the National Gendarmerie, which is part of the fight against insecurity and the maintenance of national sovereignty, has been enriched with 151 freshmen and women. The hint at those students, gendarmes, whose shoulders used to be empty, have now been given epaulets, officially confirming them as elements of the Gendarmerie Corps. It was during a stricto sensu military ceremony that took place this Tuesday, February 13, 2019, at the headquarters of the 5th Joint Military Sector in Bamenda.
I can say they're just giving me what I needed, because I have been waiting for this ever since when I was in school. So I'm so grateful, very, very grateful.
Presided over by the commander of the newly created 5th Combined Military Sector, the injection of this new blood is expected to be an impetus in the ongoing war in the Northwest with respect for human rights.
And they who have been promoted today, they should continue to work and be steadfast. They should continue to uphold human rights, continue to explain the situation which is happening in the Northwest, so that more and more of the population should abandon what they call their struggle and leave the bushes and come to the station. So they have come here, they have been trained for that, and we have seen the changes which are occurring in the field. You have less and less harassment of the population, and then more and more of the results are coming.
Officers and sub-officers took time to affix the epaulets on the shoulders of the 100 men and 51 women before an outburst of joy on song and dance for having crossed the red line that used to separate their civil life from their military lifestyle, as from this day with national colors from head to toe.
Dialogue, tolerance, and peace is the theme of this year's edition of World Radio Day, being observed today. The radio remains the most dynamic, reactive, and engaging medium, adapting to the 21st century changes and offering new ways to interact and participate. Today's radio services are taking up new technology forms such as broadband, mobiles, and tablets. Radio programming can also build tolerance and suppress the differences separating groups by uniting them under common goals. And as we celebrate World Radio Day today, we move over to the Northwest region, where the ongoing crisis is having serious effects on the smooth functioning of some community radios in this part of the country. We move precisely to Kumbo, where our reporter Regina Fonja Leketanda tells us exactly the situation on the ground.
These idle microphones at the Bui Community Radio are begging for journalists to wake up the town of Kumbo. The journalists fled for their lives when their stations came under attack, and the airwaves have since remained silent. Bullet holes on the windows, walls and doors have left media men catching the fever of fear that reigns in the entire town of Kumbo as the Anglophone crisis degenerates. At the Catholic media outfit, the Radio Evangelium Kumbo, we met Reverend Father Nasikila Elvis Njong as he braved the oath to check the media outfits. He attempts to clean his chair and table infested with cobwebs. He met no worker at the radio station and tells us life is getting more difficult as the days go by.
Since the 24th of September, Kumbo has practically shut down till now. We are here, the 8th of January 2019, And at that time, the 24th of September, when life shut down, we were still trying to function in one way or the other. We were trying to move about, but at some point it became very difficult. We are inside a war zone, and if you look around the structure housing, for example, Radio Evangelium Kumbu, you're going to see perforations of live ammunition. Bullets got into our structures, they could kill someone. And
it is a difficult time being a journalist in Kumbu, and media houses have chosen to shut their doors.
it's been hard for media practitioners in Kumbu to function. Most have shut down, and from my interactions with other media practitioners in Kumbu, it's difficult to function. The October 7th elections, for example, it was not possible for the media in Kumbu to report. Why? No one was able to go out because of the gun battles.
Father Nasikila explains that even journalists who manage to function in such trying times have been targeted on all fronts.
Know that there is anything you say and you become a target from any of the sides, either from the state or from the pro-independence movements. You should have said this and not that, you're implicating them and so on.
Journalists in Kumbu are particularly worried about an attack on the media, given despite the ongoing crisis in other parts of the Northwest region, the media has continued to function. The shutdown of airwaves in Kumbu does not augur well for the population, who need to be continuously informed. As the saying goes, he who is not informed is deformed.
Some businesses and families are currently stranded after their homes and shops were consumed by fire. The origin of the fire, which occurred this morning at the New Bell neighborhood in Douala, is yet to be determined. Crystal Katala has details.
These are the remains of 3 shops consumed by fire this Wednesday morning at New Bell Poto neighborhood in Douala. The fire incident is said to have occurred at about 2 a.m. This was a parking store for sitting sofas. This was a technical shop. This is where he used to manufacture chairs and keep. Behind the damaged building, 3 houses constructed with clapboards also reduced to arches. I was very worried. We waited for firefighters for long, about 1 hour before they came. No human life loss was recorded, but considerable damage that has left victims devastated.
Urban Development has expressed indignation over incompetent contractors who delay the proper execution of projects in Cameroon's economic city, Douala. Celestine Kecha-Kutes has been in Douala visiting some ongoing projects. Amber Gladys Ndibang.
The Minister of Housing and Urban Development has frowned at delayed and abandoned projects by some contractors who have already perceived the total package for their contracts. Every year, the head of state keeps talking about low-cost houses, and entrepreneurs are still unconscious. This is all about shared responsibility. It is painful. It is painful to note that Cameroonian enterprises have been awarded contracts and they are incapable of delivering the projects within 8 years, whereas some of them have received their payments. I wish to talk to entrepreneurs on their responsibility to drive Cameroon towards emergence. While on a working visit to Douala, Minister Celestine Kecha-Kutes assessed ongoing projects in the economic city, amongst them the Japoma Stadium, low-cost houses, roads and drainage systems. The minister was preoccupied with access ways into the Japoma Stadium. We have seen the level of advancement. We have found solutions to certain problems, such as occupation of roadsides and payments. The minister has also urged contractors to accelerate work on low-cost houses and drainage systems, not forgetting roads. Her presence has certainly reassured service providers. Administrative bottlenecks delays in the disbursement of funds, unforeseen circumstances have all been blamed for the delays in the execution of contracts. Enterprises involved were urged to speed up work, while those who have completely abandoned their projects might have their contracts terminated in the days ahead.
World cancer rates are on the increase across the world, but the good news is that changes could prevent 4 in 10 cancer cases. In the following report, let's meet a British who has been running around the world to raise funds for cancer research as well as promote healthy living conditions. This report. Dan Thompson, a British who has taken the challenge to raise money for cancer research and to promote healthy lifestyle, spoke to Canal the English about his motivations.
I personally have lost my mother to cancer, my grandmother to cancer, my uncle to cancer. I had cancer. I don't know if you can see. I have a little scar on my cheek. And in some countries, the country I come from, England, 50% of people are going to catch cancer at some stage in their lives, and that's on the increase. So that's everywhere that's on the increase. So what I find is that, yes, I've personally been affected by cancer, but so many people I meet around the world have also been affected by cancer.
His Run the World Challenge consists of a 10-kilometer run in 206 countries before the 2020 Paralympics in Tokyo. In Cameroon, besides the 10-kilometer run, Dan Thompson equally spoke to students on healthy lifestyle.
As our health systems improve, as our life expectancy increases, we will have, and as people get richer, as people are doing across Africa, slowly but surely, you have to be very careful about your lifestyle.
The British High Commissioner to Cameroon accompanied the runner, calling his initiative health diplomacy.
When I came across Dan, I thought it was an excellent thing, and many of my British colleagues, high commissioners and ambassadors around the world have similarly supported Dan. But please don't think of it as a British initiative. This is about global well-being.
According to the runner, cancer prevention through sensitization is the best option, for treatment is expensive.
When I came across Dan, I thought it was an excellent thing, and many of my British colleagues, high commissioners and ambassadors around the world have similarly supported Dan. But please don't think of it as a British initiative. This is about global well-being.
Cameroon and the British government are working towards solutions that can help reduce cancer in the future.
This is about humanity. This is about making the world a happier and healthier place. It's a thoroughly good thing. And I'm frankly proud that my compatriot Dan Thompson has committed himself and to raising awareness in this way. It's great. It's, if you like, modern diplomacy operates much more around these kind of coalitions and soft power. So I think that's what we see here, and I'm just happy to be able to support it.
Before Cameroon, Dan Thompson had previously been in 161 countries on different continents, raising money for cancer research and promoting healthy lifestyle. This report brings us to the end of the newscast tonight on Canal the English. Thanks for watching.